How's it going, everyone? I got you back with another video. In today's video we're doing something a little bit different. It's sort of more like talking about something as opposed to actually doing anything, if that makes sense. I wanted to take sort of jump on the bandwagon a little bit because I've seen a number of creators covering the same topic, but it goes without notice that the current market for CS is a little bit out of nowhere. It's exploding and it isn't looking like it's stopping anytime soon, and I think straight away, like, given my sort of, like, for lack of a better word, experience and know-how of things like this that have happened before, I think it is related to Chinese investors, like, mass buying stuff and then effectively ramping up the prices, for lack of a better word, a pump and dump. So I do think that's what's currently going on, although something on this magnitude hasn't really happened before, or at least, yeah, I mean, we've had times where the market's been mega up before, like loads of times, right? And we've had times where the market's been mega down before, although I don't think it has been this high ever. And I know that we're consistently getting like new records being set for player numbers and things like that. It's just like, even though Valve is doing sweet FA in terms of like content, we're still getting more and more people coming to the game and playing it. You could make an argument that a large portion of the player base are just bot accounts farming items, and although there is some level of truth to that, there isn't enough evidence that shows that that is completely what's flooding the play account. But I think specifically with the whole Chinese investor thing, I think it is seriously affecting the market. Now, I'm gonna put some images upon your screen right now to show you sort of what I'm talking about. But let's say, for example, you have a phase 2. If you have a phase 2 Doppler, you are rich right now. I can't say the same about gamma Dopplers, but definitely for standard Dopplers, phase 2s are almost looking like they're kind of becoming a new gem in itself. I know that they're incredibly more common than gem patterns, for example, your ruby, your sapphire, your black pearls, but phase 2s, and good phase 2s as well, because phase 2s do come in different patterns, are extremely expensive. Like, upwards of some of the more expensive skins like in the game, like butterfly knife phase 2s are looking like upwards of 10 to 14,000, which is, we've never seen those numbers before. So it's crazy. And on top of that, like, tons and tons and tons of other knives are like extremely expensive at the moment, and it's really weird. Like, I mean, one of my personal favorite knives, the Talon knife, is looking ropey, like, as you can see with the numbers, like, extremely large increases over time, because I think the issue is when the market gets this crazy, the biggest question mark is the unknown. So no one really knows if the market's going to go down again. It is likely it will, but for all we know, it could stay like this, like, indefinitely. And unless something gets done about it, I don't see it changing anytime soon. The hype is without a doubt there, and that poses a massive threat to the overall quality of the economy. Because if everything is just like inaccessible, then no one's gonna really have the ability to buy things. Like, unless you're like extremely well off, like you are not, like, the general like player is not going to be able to buy an M9 karambit or a butterfly knife. It's just not possible. Like, I would say 6-7 years ago, you could buy an M9 bayonet for $300. Nowadays, an M9 bayonet Doppler, for example, was about $300 back in the day. Maybe a little bit less even. Nowadays, $1,000, like, minimum. And I know inflation has happened over 6 years, but not to that extent. Like, that's crazy. So You know, and more so for phase 2s, as I was saying earlier, and it's and you know, to go back on a smaller scale, it isn't just knives and whatnot. And on top of that, we have cases as well. Like if we have a look, just at the general price of cases on the global market, it is mind-blowing. Like even active duty cases are going up in price, which never happens because, you know, people get them dropped every week. So it's just it's alarming that this is happening currently. And as I said, I really don't know what the future holds, and as a sort of like enthusiast, I am worried. So yeah, a bit of a low video, I will be honest. It's a bit negative, but on the plus side, in my personal opinion, I am worried. I can't lie, because we've never seen something like this. But I do think it's something that is fixable, and I think I'm gonna throw out a couple of outlandish suggestions. Now, for the overall quality of the economy, this suggestion I'm about to say could massively affect it. But I think for the longevity, I think it's a good idea. Now, as I'm sure you guys are aware, Perfect World has its own version of Counter-Strike. So skins are different, certain like core gameplay elements and things are pretty much the same, but certain little bits and pieces of the game are different, and they run on their own server as well. So unlike, for example, the rest of the world, if you want to join an NA server, you can. You cannot play on Chinese servers without having a Chinese account. So I think from a economy point of view, if an item is registered in a registered in a Chinese inventory, whether that person is saying they're from China or not or whatever, if the IP address and it can be shown that it's from a real Chinese inventory, then that skin should stay in China, in my opinion. I think the Chinese economy should be its own, and I think the rest of the world should be left as the rest of the world. And that is because China has such a massive influence on this CS economy to the point where they are destroying it. And I think the only way Valve is going to be able to keep this for longevity, like at the moment, Valve probably doesn't give a shit because they're making so much money off these Chinese investors. But the truth is, longevity is something that is going to outweigh the current boost in economy that Valve is making, if that makes sense. So they're going to want to keep longevity to make as much money as possible in the long run, and keeping this market the way it is that's not going to happen. It's one of two things is either going to happen. Skins will just be like so inaccessible that no one will buy them, or two, the market will like drastically crash. Like something will happen and it will drastically crash. Now, the other thing that Valve could do is, and this I think would really damage the economy in the long run, but if it gets to a point they might not have a choice, is to increase the odds of getting a knife. So currently the odds sit at, I think, 1 in 364, something like that. Maybe it's 394. I don't know the exact number, but we'll round it up to about 1 in 400. Now Valve could halve that, and it would still be, you know, it would still be quite rare to get a knife. But for example, if we take the TF2 economy, Team Fortress 2, a unusual is a 1% chance, and that is, from as far as we know, guaranteed, like confirmed odds. So it's a 1 in 100. Now Valve could just mirror that to CS and knives be 1 in 100. That would still be, you still have to open tons of cases to get knives, but like, you know, for every knife unboxed now, we would have 4 more knives. So that just shows the actual like magnitude that would change like the economy. But yeah, they're just a few suggestions I have, but I'm gonna keep it short and sweet there and leave it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and do you think the market is screwed? I personally think right now it is, but I do think it's fixable, and I think this isn't forever. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's all for today. I might upload a gameplay video. I'm getting quite a bit of footage now, so I might be able to create a gameplay video later on in the week, but we'll see how it goes. As for now, thanks everyone for watching, and I appreciate again like the growing support I'm getting. This channel is actually growing, which is crazy. So yeah, thanks everyone, and I'll see you later.